Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing a 12 by 12 scrapbooking layout featuring Fancy Pants' fruit cake and tinsel collection. You saw me do a project with this collection earlier in the month where I made those zigzaggy Christmas trees. And today we're going to be doing another like paper piecing project. I saw what I want to do. Still, we're making strips and we're going to turn them. Let's just kind of demo it out and see where it goes. So we are still taking paper strips. We are probably cutting them down to, this is 12, 6-inch strips after that. And then we are folding them in half. Or maybe they can be a V. Nah. Okay. Well, two things I have to think about. We're kind of folding them in half without really scoring them, like bending them. We're keeping them like a hoop. And I either want to do another sort of Christmas tree, right, with them and having dimension. It's always a time to have fun. Or I just want to make it into a wreath. But if we make it into a wreath, they don't need to be 6 inches. They can be smaller because they just need to be out. Wreath or tree? Wreath or tree? Wreath or tree? See, now these are the questions I need to ask myself because I don't know which one. And I think two things. I think because I saw something similar, clearly, as a wreath, and I was like, wow, that's so cute. And I always, when I find inspiration, it's because I either like the fact that I can see tons of patterns, which makes me think of showing off a collection, or I think of the dimension that it's there, because with my 12 by 12, I can get a little crazy with the dimension because you can, you know, because it's bigger and they'll sit on my wall for a while. I display usually my 12 by 12s first, and then I put them away into an album, or they just stay out, you know? So let's just see a little bit. So while I'm creating and talking with you to see what could be the way to go. Because, like I said, if we do the tree, let's see if I can give you like an idea of what I think the tree could be. So if they're just these pieces, right? You're gonna have them, and then where's the other one that I already dumped? There it is. Okay, so it would start to, you know, taper and then feather into bigger arrangements, but you get the idea. You know, and be a tree. Or, and I could probably have multiple trees because 1 or 2 could fit on there. Or if it was around a circle, so say this is your circle, this is your photo, it could just be a wreath with all of that dimension around it. And it could be 2 layers, you know, and then it could be really cute. You know what? I think I'm answering my own question. I'm thinking I'm going to do the tree still because it's Christmas and I can always do a wreath with some other collection in the future. So there's the answer. There's the answer. We are still making trees. Okay, let me get a few more strips and let me put you now on fast forward while we make our paper pieced, folded paper pieced paper trees. Let's get started. Okay, so I just cut a bunch of strips of paper. I think I made them all about 1 inch, but they varied in size, so just don't feel obligated to keep them all consistent. I think the variety gives the layout and the project a little bit more fun and like variance in the loops. So I went ahead and stripped them all or cut them all, and then also just cut them multiples at 6 inches as well, just so that they were kind of uniform and that way they were easy to work with. I then take double-sided tape and I start pinching them all together at one end and not trying to squeeze it to make them flat, leaving the other end like a little bit of a hoop. And this part takes a little bit of time too. So definitely get a book, or, listen to an audiobook, put on a YouTube video, maybe listen to music, because some of this is a little bit repetitive, which is okay. Again, I do these layouts because doing these repeat things or fussy cutting does not bother me. I think this is half of the joy for me for crafting is this time to make as many as possible. And believe it or not, as many as I make right now, I have to make like maybe 6 more strips or so to finish out my tree at the end, and you'll see that where I had to like time out and then go get some more of the scrap papers and cut some strips. So you see me having it lay on a pink pattern paper. This pink pattern paper is from the collection, and I initially thought I was going to have my tree on it, but in the end, once you start seeing it, I like it. I do like it on the pink, but I was like, you know what, this will really pop more on white. So after a while of just arranging them semi right now, I just kind of see it and think that the patterns on pink is a little bit too much for the eyes. It works, and it totally works still too, like, so if you want to do this project and put it on pink paper, put it on pink paper, it'll work. But for me, I think I was still making it, and I was like, you know what, I think I need white. So here I am still making some more, and I alternated to see like all the patterns, except there was one pattern on the opposite side of one that was kind of like a antique paper / tickets. I just didn't want to add that beige and brown and cream color to it, so I kept it for all of the bright sides of the Fruitcake and Tinsel collection, and that way too you get to see all the pattern papers in this collection. I think I always try to keep that in mind, especially when I am on a design team, is to kind of showcase the collection as best as you can. So that is definitely what I wanted to do here for them and this Christmas tree. So don't get me wrong, the idea of this same process for a wreath or, like a hoop would work. So I might use that in the future with another collection, that I have many pattern papers that I want to show off and audition. When I'm doing this too, I made sure not to squish them all the way down. It's something to keep in mind, especially if you're going to put in a page protector. By all means, then you need to squish it down, because the dimension is going to not be in your favor. But this one is definitely a dimensional layout, and it takes a while to get it all done. So just know that going in, you can see me kind of working on it. Then when I'm doing too, once the tree is all said and done, I'm going to take out every single piece of ephemera that I have still from this collection. So the collection came with like 2 different packs of ephemera. One that was, they're both kind of all the icons and labels and, little bits and pieces, not too many like journaling areas. So I just dump everything out of my desk. And I just start playing around with what is good for a Christmas tree situation. So I definitely take out a little bit of the florals, a little bit of the ornaments, and the little snowflakes. And I use them all as little decorative baubles for my tree. I also start auditioning those little reindeers and the little vintage girl and the presents. I do end up using the presents for the bottom of this layout, and I do have them like alternate with the foam thickers as well, because the icons in the foam thickers are similar to the ephemera pack. And I just take the time to kind of really go through everything. What I was noticing is that this collection though lacked like title pieces. So there's something that really just said Santa really big, or ho ho ho, or Merry Christmas even. But these little phrases, there were a bunch of them that were on white cardstock, said like ho 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 and countdown to Christmas, and they were a little bit harder to read. But once I started fishing them all out of my little pile here, I realized that if I do a scattering of all of them, it kind of makes it have multiple phrases / titles. I do pull out like a thicker collection that I have in my stash for Merry Christmas, but I don't end up using it because I do like the usage of all of the smaller title and phrases from the ephemera bits that I scatter around the top of the tree, which in the end does come out rather cute. And so I'm just using my Tombow liquid glue, adhering all the things, and I also get out the enamel dots. Oh, there we are with the enamel dots for more texture and color. and it turned out really cute. And I decided to go with a photo of me and Valentina visiting Santa, and I do make it into a circle. I do it into a circle, and you'll see me here shortly start to just mat it on one of the pretty pattern papers, and then give it a mat and like cut it myself freehand without kind of getting a circle punch or anything, because the picture by itself was getting lost without the mat. So I do take that white and colorful stripe pattern to mat my photo, and I let it sit on top of the hoop so it does have the dimension from it, and it just turned out so cute. It just turned out so cute. Love it, love it, love it. Yes, very good one. Keep it as inspiration. Give it a try. Okay, that will wrap up this layout. So I'm just going to be waiting for my photo to dry. I made it look like just a circle ornament on there, and then what I call the technique is just plunk it down. So I was trying to find a title, so I just used all of the word phrases and bits for the elements, and the fact that they're, I think, like bordered, the border is white, makes them like disappear a little bit into the background. But super dimensional, super fun and playful. It's so cute. I'm so excited to put this on my display wall. I'm just hoping that I won't like pinch that tree too much, because this definitely deserves to be on the display wall. Or maybe I should even get it its own frame. Little 12 by 12 frame. Pick it up from Michael's or Joann's or something. And take out the glass, because look how dimensional that is. You don't want to smash that. But it's so cute. You guys, it's so cute. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give this video a thumbs up. And until next time, everyone. Bye.